As said by St. John Damascene, prayer is a raising of one's mind and heart to God and requesting good things from God. Let us all take a moment and request God for this day to be an eventual one. I request the technical team to play the prayer song.
Namo Arihantanam, Namo Sedanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vajayanam, Namo Loyesavasahunam, Eso Panchanamokaro, Sarva Papapanasano, Mangalanam Chesarvesim, Padamam Havai Mangalam, Padamam Havai Mangalam.
நீராறும் கடலொடுத்த நிலமடந்த கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கனமும் அதிர் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே.
Thank you. With the blessings of God, I invite Dr. V. Anuradha Ma'am, Head, Department of Commerce, General, Shift 1, to welcome the gathering and to introduce our guest of honor.
Good evening to one and all present here. On behalf of Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shasun Jain College for Women, Kinagar, on behalf of our management, principal, vice principal, I heartily welcome you, sir, Dr. Sindhil Nathan, director in charge UGC Human Resource Development Center, and professor, Department of Educational Technology, Bharathidasan University, Tiruchinappalli, for being our chief guest for 7-day international level online faculty development program on the topic Digitalization Trends and its Challenges in Higher Education. This FDP is in the present scenario is the need of the hour. So it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our honorable chief guest of the day. Sir has been a member of various expert committees, like member of UNESCO assignment on learning to learn English with information and communication technology, consultant to Commonwealth of Learning, Canada, and member of state level subcommittee on teacher education, expert committee member of various universities and National Council for Teacher Education. Sir has organized a number of FDP on web application for facilitating learning to higher education teachers, involving training in using the web and Google Cloud application for education. Has guided as research supervisor for more than 35 research scholars, PhD scholars, and MPhil students. So Sir has been serving as member in editorial board and board of studies of various universities. Sir has published research articles in both national and international journals and has published 2 books, Reciprocal Teaching of Reading and EST Curriculum Development, Principles and Practice. Sir has contributed for funded projects and ongoing major research project on digital literacy and techno-pedagogical practices of higher education teachers of Tamil Nadu funded by ICSSR. And Sir has also visited other countries on academic assignments. So I welcome our Secretary Sir, Associate Secretary Sir, Principal, Vice Principal, Directors, Program Coordinators, Heads of various departments, faculties, and participants. Sir, once again, I welcome you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invite. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. We are extremely elated to have an inspirational guest of honor amongst us today. I invite our chief guest, Dr. S. Senthilnathan, sir, to kindly address the gathering.
Yeah. So, a very good afternoon to every one of you. Am I audible to you all clearly? Can anyone from the admin please tell me whether my audio is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So most esteemed principal of Shesan Jain College and distinguished members of the management and beloved organizing team, and most importantly, the bread and butter of this faculty development program, the participants. Very good afternoon to all of you once again. I deem it a pleasure as well as a privilege to associate myself with this program on a very, very vital theme. And the theme is not only vital, but also very timely, I would say. Because in this context of post-COVID learning environment, we all know that there is a concept of learning from home, modeled after WFH, that is work from home. Now we have something called LFH, learning from home. And we all know that the way in which this, the unprecedented crisis that the pandemic has put all of us in a kind of a fix. And it was a little tough for us to manage at the early days. And then all on a sudden, we were all catapulted into online learning, having been in face-to-face mode, chalk and talk model for quite a few years. One fine morning, the government's decision to go for online classes, it put us in an altogether different scenario. And no doubt, we have managed very well. We have picked up some of the digital skills, some of the technological, pedagogical competences, and managed the show very well. That is what I would say. No doubt, especially compared with any other developing countries, teachers in India have been very quick to pick up these skills required to be an online facilitator of learning. You're tapping the potentials of open educational resources and whatnot, right? No doubt. Okay. But at the same time, see, there is a difference between learning something in a systematic and structured manner and picking up something in a random way, as I can say. See, today we see in Tamil Nadu a huge population of migrant workers. Okay? And no doubt they come to Chennai, they come to Coimbatore, they come to Trichy, and they start getting into every possible industry. And for their survival, they all pick up some Tamil, some spoken Tamil. They manage. So you see, the way in which they pick up the language Tamil for their survival, okay, for their day-to-day communication is one thing. Whereas people from Tamil Nadu, right, you and I who have taken birth here or got educated in Tamil Nadu, how we have learned the language of Tamil, that is a basic difference. So why this type of a program? Why a workshop like this on digitalization in higher education, and looking at that whole concept of digitalization and its impact on the education system from different perspectives, different resource persons being invited to give talks to you. Why? Because only to provide a kind of a systematic and structured learning, right? Okay. No doubt we have managed managed with the skills we have picked up, no doubt about it. But there is a little bit of structured and systematic learning required. It is in this context that Jain College has embarked upon this initiative of conducting a program for the benefit of the higher education teachers. And I sincerely congratulate the management, the principal, and the organizing team on this exercise, which is much needed today. So with this, I've been given some 13-14 minutes. I will just go over to my brief presentation, which is on this. In fact, this digital learning, digigogy, we call it as Digigogy, right? Digital age pedagogy. That is, we have I'm sure all of you know words like pedagogy, andragogy. So now we have a new name, a new word added to the list in the parlance of education, like Digigogy, so which is all about teaching and learning, facilitating learning to the digital generation of learners. Okay? And in a digital learning environment, using all these digital technologies and digital learning resources, right, for achieving the goal of facilitating learning to these boys and girls. Okay, so is my screen shared properly, madam? Can anyone tell me?
Yes, sir.
Fine, right, okay. So I will just briefly dwell upon this broad concept of digital education, digital age education, from a few points of view, so that you will get a bare idea of what is this entire FDP is all about. And I'm very happy to see a couple of my friends, well-known associates, being invited here as resource persons, right? So because though I must say that the organizers have been uh, uh, very choosy in picking up resource persons like Dr. Joshit and others, right, who have had considerable experience in training people in all these aspects. So that way they will dwell more upon these aspects. But just to give you a kind of an overview, I'm just taking you to this brief presentation. And as you all know very well, this 21st century is often interpreted with all these expressions. We know that. And 21 is not just a number, my dear friends. We must understand that it is a big concept. It's a huge concept now. We are now talking about 21st century agricultural practices, 21st century medicine, 21st century banking, 21st century corporate world, like that, we also talk about 21st century education. So this 21 is not just a number. And we often interpret this 21st century with all these expressions, which are self-explanatory, in my view, right? Why is it called the computer age, right? So it's all computers everywhere in one form or the other, right? Some or most of you, right, are sitting with your laptop PCs or desktop PCs. Some of you are connected on your mobile devices, right? There is no big difference, right? Today your Android phones are much more than desktop PCs, are much more than laptop PCs. We know that, right? A good Android phone. I think now the great Indian sale on Amazon and a billion sale on Flipkart, many other things have started. And you have a look at the things that are being sold out, right? So all electronic gadgets, all devices related to your mobile devices, right? Your earpods, right? This type power banks, right? You find more than 60% of the products on sale, right? Related with one thing or the other, right? Related to our laptops or mobile phones or any of these electronic digital devices. Okay? So we call this as a computer era or computer age. And we use expressions like the information age. Why is it called an information age? The simple reason is that this is a world literally flooded with information. Am I right? 24/7. There is a huge inflow of information, a huge amount of information getting transmitted across the globe, right? And this huge information flow is happening at unprecedented velocity, right? We all know that. And that's why it's called information era. See, we all know that, we have spent quite a lot of time, right, during the lockdown, right, during this pandemic. And, there was such a lot of information flowing into our homes, flowing into our desktop PCs, flowing into our mobile phones, flowing into our television sets, right? Okay. So which hospital is beds, where there is, which hospital is running out of beds, where is remdesivir available, where is remdesivir getting stocked, right? There is so much of information flow at unprecedented speed. And of course, there was misinformation and disinformation also. Like, of course, in this information era, there is something unavoidable. Okay. And when we talk about 21st century being looked at as a knowledge era, Okay, we should understand the dynamics of knowledge change that is happening in the world. Okay, and I request you to kindly read NEP 2020 document, National Education Policy 2020. From this point of view, right, you will understand better. And there is a good number of articles, good number of PPTs, good number of PDFs, good number of videos available online. If you search with something like 21st century learning in your Google, if you search with 21st century learning as a keyword, there is so much that you can read. Okay, and that will throw light on the dynamics of knowledge era. And you and I, as knowledge workers, right, what are our expectations from our side? And we also call this 21st century as a digital era, right? And what is so digital? Okay, we all know that, if friends from computer science, electronics, or physics or mathematics, you would simply say that digital is all about the zeros and ones, right? The binary code. Okay, if you're attending a phone call from your mobile, you swipe it towards green to accept a call, you swipe it towards red to reject a call. It is 0 and 1. 0 is red and 1 is green. So it's all the same. And I'm sure there are a couple of friends from English departments here, right? So you will disagree with that point, that digital is not everything about this zeros and ones, the binary code. Because the word digital comes from a Greek root. The word in Greek language, digitus, digitus, means fingertips. Okay, so any of these technologies, right, let it be a keypad or a mouse or a touch screen, right, any of these things which you manipulate, or the services you get with the help of your fingertips, they become digital technologies. Okay, and when we talk about the integration of these digital technologies into human learning, then what we get is digital learning, which is a priority area of the Government of India under DII, Digital India Initiatives. And because of that, there is a huge sum of money, right, getting pumped into the system. And we have today a kind of a digital education system in our country with around 60 to 65,000 crores of money investment today, right? Okay, and it is that makes it more positive in terms of its working efficiency in the country like India. And I request all of you, as part of the program, no doubt we are going to listen to a good number of resource persons. They are talking about the different dimensions of digital education systems here. I would also appeal to you to go to this document, a very beautiful document. It is more than 10 years old now. It is 2011, 10-year-old now. But still now, there is a lot of meaningful discussions about this particular digital education system. The book is it's an open resource. It is an open educational resource in the sense that it is available for free download. Okay, and where they talk about the power of the small e. Okay, in enhancing these three capital E's, right? How a digital age education system, which can be enabled by technologies, which can have higher levels of engagement, and where these information and communication technologies will be playing the role of tools of empowerment. Okay, we call these information and communication technologies as enabling technologies. Why we call them as enabling technologies, right? So, for instance, if the principal madam, right, just for an example, I'm telling, if she had some 5 lakh rupees in her bank account some 20 years back, okay, and she wanted to withdraw some 1,000 rupees after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:30 or 3 o'clock, and she was unable to withdraw that. She was unable to do that because 10 to 2 was the banking hour in those days. No ATMs, no mobile banking facility, right? Nothing was there. Okay, so she was unable to withdraw her money from anywhere, anytime she wanted. Now, with the help of all these digital technologies, anytime, anywhere, banking is possible for her. That is why from unable to enabling, from unable to able, today she is able to. So that is what is the enabling process. And we call this education system an engaged system. I think the word engagement needs to be looked at from a very, very different point of view here. The word engagement in the context of psychology, in the context of pedagogical sciences, in the context of journalism, mass communication, electronic media, right, is something very important, right? For instance, we call these these media, right, how it is capable of getting the boys and girls engrossed into the media for some time. It's a higher levels of engagement. Okay. For instance, if you take the case of two scenarios, a classroom where you and I go with very, very meaningful content, relevant content, useful content. What is the level of engagement that we achieve with the students' minds, okay, or with students' emotions, okay? And compare it with the cinema hall, a theater, okay, where the boys and girls, the even adult matured minds, they are made to sit for 2.5 hours, not 1 hour 50 minutes, but 2.5 hours, okay? And the film director, actor, actress, nobody is there physically present. But what is the level of engagement that happens? Everyone stays glued to the screen. From first frame to last frame, everyone becomes one with the screen. And you identify yourself with the screen. And whenever there is a sad scene, you wipe your tears without your neighbor's knowledge. No? Am I right? It is that type of an engagement that happens in a cinema hall. What is that working behind it, right? The audio video combinations, the visual cues, the digital media technologies, it is that the combination that makes it work. So the whole idea of digital learning with so much of visual learning materials available in the form of multimedia embedded video contents, graphics, animation, simulation, and whatnot, right, is the simple idea that why the same digital technologies which give people better entertainment experiences, why they cannot give better learning experiences to our students. So that is the simple idea. And we call this information and communication technologies as tools of empowerment because they empower everyone. They don't discriminate between a boy sitting in IIT Bombay from another boy or a girl sitting in a remote coastal village in Kanyakumari or Nagarkoil. It doesn't make any difference. Technology empowers people equally, and everyone gets the same learning opportunity. Right? A boy sitting in any place of the world, right? Any developed part, right? Okay. Sitting, and when he or she goes to the web, whatever learning resources are shown, the same one is shown to any other person sitting in any remote place, however disadvantaged communities he or she is from, however economically, socially poorer section the boy or a girl is from. It doesn't matter. So a kind of a level playing ground is created by these digital media technologies, right? So that all of them get the equality in educational opportunities. It's an interesting document. I request all of you to read. And maybe I'll be happy if you read the slide as quickly as possible. Can Dr. Mary Diana, madam, tell me that there is a quotation that you can see on the screen?
In the winter of 1830.
No, yeah, you can read it yourself. No issue. If it is visible to you, fine. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, thank you for offering to read. I just want you to read this as quickly as possible. Don't bother about making notes and all. I'll be happy to share this PPT with Madam Selva Kumari, who in turn can share it with you if it is so required. Okay. So I'm sure you get the central message of this particular quote, okay, about an experience of an individual. No, Samuel May is not big educational technologist or educationist, right? An ordinary a layman, right? Maybe a school teacher or somebody who was learning mathematics. So that's it. I also don't understand what is this mathematical school, maybe a tuition center or a training center for mathematics. Okay? So, but you see, when they all went to the class one fine morning, they saw something black colored board hanging on the wall and some white pieces of chalk. Okay, and they never knew what it was meant for because they had never earlier seen these things as tools of teaching. Okay? And you see, this is the way the blackboard and the chalk and talk model came into the system. And what is the travel that we have done here? Okay, it was in 1813, 200 plus years, and today what we have, all these things and much more. I'm sure Dr. Joshit will be speaking to you on MOOCs and OER and cloud apps and other things, and other resource persons also will be talking to you on because any talk on web apps, digital tools for education cannot escape any of these things. They will essentially focus on all these things. I'm sure you will get a lot of inputs in these sessions, but all these things and much more are making deep inroads into the educational system. And I have put certain things in red color, my dear friends, only to highlight to you that these have to be taken essentially as red alerts by all of us. All of us have some 10 or 12 years of service ahead minimum. Okay. And all of us have to take these technologies, these applications, right, and these platforms and gadgets as red alerts for us, for our profession. Because these are going to make a lot of difference in the education system, not far off from now, but within the next 2 or 3 years. Already it has started making a lot of differences, because till the pandemic erupted, right, we all were very comfortable with our chalk and talk model. Okay, and everything was going fine. And one invisible virus has totally turned the tables. And at one point, left with no other option, we all got into some web-based applications, some Google Meet or Zoom, or some tool, right? Some virtual meet tool for handling classes, some app for conducting a test. Okay, some method of recording our voice. We all did it, right? That we know that very well. Okay, and the purpose of all these technologies, gadgets, platforms, services is to make the learning process more interactive, more participatory, more engaging, more involving, more meaningful, more joyful. See, I underline that point here. I don't say that a classroom based instruction, a face-to-face class is not an interactive class. I don't say that. Right? But with technologies, you can make the interactivity level greater. You can take the participation level to greater levels. Okay. See, when we talk about participation, I recall one of my teachers, right? He used to say, if you want to understand the participation level of Indian classrooms, the simple thing you can do is you can have a look at the class, and every class is filled with a lot of wooden desks. In our days, it was all wooden desks, and every wooden desktop, you see there is a lot of literature and art. I think the students' best creativity can be seen there. Am I right? And every such table with such a lot of writing and drawings and paintings, is an indication that the participation level of the students was low, and there was an ineffective teacher who could not get every boy, every girl participate into the learning process. Okay, because the engagement level went down. So the students started engaging themselves in their own ways. Okay, so with technologies, higher levels of participation, higher level of engagement is possible. See, Web 2.0 is all about interactivity. Now that I told you, the Great Indian Sale is on, Flipkart sale is on, Myntra sale is on, that all this Diwali is coming, so all these sale are on. You get into one portal, get into Flipkart, you can never get out of it, because they will know what you are looking for. They will see through all that, and they will make, as much as you interact with that portal, right? That portal also will interact with you. And by the time you are about to close that particular portal and get out of it, suddenly a pop-up will come and say that this is the thing that you have been looking for. Now it is available for 50% offer. In the next half an hour, if you buy it, right, you will get a free gift also. How is it that they know? Because they do a lot of profiling. Again, they know that. And all these technologies are going to make a lot of changes in the e-learning or online learning and virtual learning. And there is going to be something like adaptive e-learning, right? Adaptive e-learning, or an intelligent learning environment, where this artificial intelligence, virtual reality, right, and augmented reality is going to make a learning environment where the lessons will be designed, or the lessons will be presented to the students in tune with the differences in their learning styles, learning difficulties, previous knowledge and all. For instance, if Dr. Mary Diana, Dr. Sukirtana, Dr. Selvakumari, and Dr. Pakyavadi, if 4 of them learn a particular subject at a particular level, in a conventional mode, all of them will get the same lesson, same example, and same exercise. But in an intelligent learning environment, everyone will get a different lesson, different example, and different exercise, because each one is a uniquely different individual, and each one's learning styles are different, learning capacities are different, and previous knowledge levels are different. So it is that type of learning environment that we expect to happen. And I would be happy. I'm not going deep into it, right? I think I'm left with some 2-3 more minutes, right? Without taking much of the time, I will be happy if you can, whether through interaction with your resource persons or as an exercise of learning, if you can get into all these 4 dimensions, right, of the digital age pedagogy, you will understand. Understanding digital age pedagogy means understanding these 4 aspects. Digital generation of learners, the learning environments are digital. Now you see, right, Principal Madam is sitting in Jain College. I am at Trichy. Some of the participants are in Chennai. Some of you are away from Chennai, right? And there is a huge distance, right, that separates all of us. But all of us are connected on an environment, and that is a digital environment. Why that's a digital environment? Because, right, it is the Zoom platform of the Jain College. Your laptop, my laptop, your modem, the college internet connectivity, all these things together have made this learning environment possible. So that is a digital environment, okay? And that is also a virtual environment, and that's also a visual environment, okay? And we call this media, today's education media, as edutainment media, because we are using all the entertainment media platforms for education, right? Television, video, graphics, animation, right? Games, right? All these things are basically entertainment media, and we are using entertainment media for education. So it becomes edutainment. And, I've just put a small question mark over the next one, digital generation of teachers. That is, do we have a digital generation of teachers who can exploit the potentials of all these technologies for promoting learning, right? Not being under any compulsion, but on our own, right? On our own, in the sense with a willingness to make a difference, right, as a 21st century teacher, okay? And with regard to the digital age learners, I request all of you to go to this person, Mark Prensky. Mark Prensky is a very celebrated writer, a great author, especially the first article. It is less than 6 pages or so, Digital Natives, Digital Immigrants, where there is a beautiful description about today's digital learners, and every point put forth by him is quite relevant to understand today's learners. I request all of you to read it. It's very interesting. It is downloadable free of cost. markprensky.com is the website. Otherwise, you can I can share it with Dr. Selvakumari also, who in turn can share it with you, right? So the learning environment, as I told you today, is a kind of a global borderless education scenario where no institution is away from the learner in terms of physical distances. This is the ultimate achievement of digitalization, I would say, right? Yeah, seemingly connected learning environment, right, where there is no distance at all, no physical distance. At the click of a mouse, I can get into Shasan Jain College. All of you can get in there, right? And a few clicks, you can be in any top institution of the world, right? Okay. So it is that type of a learning environment that is open. And as I told you, starting from audio to radio to television, right? Video, computers, graphics, animation, simulation, learning management systems, web apps, mobile apps, right? You have a wide array of entertainment media platforms which are increasingly being used in the field of education. And essentially, as a part of your learning of the impact of the digitalization, you have to essentially read and learn more about these things as well, right? So coming down to the last part, right, just before I say thanks to all of you, the digital age teacher, right, what you and I are supposed to be, right? We are not supposed to be dispensers of information. For dispensing information, there is a wide range of technology. Google is there, Bing is there, Ask is there, Yahoo, right, and Meta search engines are there. They will take care of dispensing information. A plus B whole square, what it becomes, this salt and this salt at this temperature, what color or what smell it is, right? This war, who started, who won, who got defeated. All these are bits and pieces of information which these technologies can take care of. As a human being, as a human teacher, with our infinite capabilities of the mind, right, we are supposed to be orchestrating the learning process. Okay? We should design learning, just like an orchestrator is designing music. Okay, where the chorus should start, where the music should go down, where the singer should start, where the female singer should start. It is that type of a work we should do. We should tell our boys and girls what they should learn from what type of resources. You should tell them, see, there is a channel, there is a YouTube channel for this, right? The watch, go to these video sites, watch these videos, and you will understand the basic concepts. Come tomorrow for a discussion. If you don't understand with the help of the videos, I'll explain to you, right? With more examples. So that is what is activity-based learning, flipped model, okay? All these things. And helping the students to convert information into knowledge. See, understand, Google can give only information. On any keyword under the sun, you will get some information, right? But converting that information into knowledge requires some higher order thinking skills. And we are supposed to promote that higher order thinking skills, okay, as a 21st century teacher. And we should change our relationship with our learners. And we cannot be solo singers of knowledge here. We are all orchestra singers. And when you sing in an orchestra, the problem is you cannot sing as you like. You should understand what is the music being played and who is doing what type of music there. So similarly, around you, there are radio channels, YouTube channels, television channels, multimedia content, web apps, mobile apps, MOOC platforms, and whatnot. And all of them are there to promote learning. And when you also get into the game of promoting learning, then there are two things I think you must very thoroughly be aware of. One is how to recast your role as a 21st century teacher. And the second thing, how to re-engineer the work you will do in a revised context, right? So you cannot repeat what your teachers did 15, 20 years back, right? So that is what is the point that I would like to drive home. And being a digital age teacher means being a networked teacher. And if you understand the dynamics of networking with all these things, I think you would understand clearly the way in which digitalization puts you in a revised role. Okay, so I think that is what is the point that I would like to communicate. In fact, we can go on and on discussing the different dimensions of all this networking with the media platforms and all, but I'm sure the sessions will take care of that. So I just would like to close this inaugural address with the observation of Alvin Toffler. I think you might know him, Alvin Toffler. I always tell my teacher friends, my student friends, whenever I meet them, right, in such context, you kindly read this guy without fail. If you have money, you buy and read. If you have friends, you borrow and read. Or if you have strength in your body, you can even steal and read. But I think you must read Alvin Toffler, because one of his very famous books is The Future Shock. A great book, a monumental book, where some path-breaking ideas are given by him. And one such idea given by him is this: because what matters in 21st century for professional success is not the question of your ability to read or write as literacy, but the illiterate of the 20th century will be the person who cannot learn new things, unlearn certain old things, and relearn certain things in a revised context, right? And all of you are here to learn, I'm sure. Okay, and there is another difficult process that we should go through, that is unlearning the old, okay, and relearning something in a revised context. Okay, and all these are important to be truly 21st century teachers, and to make ourselves relevant to the 21st century student community, because they are all the digital kids. They are the digital generation of learners whose lives are deeply immersed in digital media culture. And if you want to make yourself a relevant teacher to them, there is something that all of us are expected to, right, do with technologies, one or the other. And one big problem that we have with technologies, things are happening very, very fast. Right? By the time you complete your FTP, a lot of things would have been spoken, and you would have been exposed to, but new plugins or new add-ons or new versions or updates may be there. Right? You understand that when you use your WhatsApp, right? Every now and then it says this app needs to be updated, right, within 15 days, otherwise it will not work out, right? So continuous updation is very, very important, because you see, this is according to Langian philosophy, right? This is the problem. That is, we see the present even before we realize that the present is there and look at it, it has started moving away from us, right? So it is that sense of urgency, right, that is required for all of us, right, to pull up our socks and get ready for a lot of innovative changes in the days to come. So all that I have to tell you, my dear friends, in conclusion, right, is that simple, right? Let us do today's jobs with today's tools. And there are lots and lots of ICT tools, web tools, mobile tools available. And if you do today's jobs with yesterday's tools, maybe tomorrow you will be out of business. That is something that all of you should keep in mind. And I'm sure Jain College is providing a good opportunity for interacting with a good number of resource persons and also networking among yourselves, the like-minded people, right? All of you are focused on one thing, that is making yourself relevant to 21st century environment, right? So I'm sure you will all really have fruitful and rewarding experiences in this program. So I would like to thank the management, the principal, and the organizing team for giving me this opportunity of just sharing a couple of things, right, related to this digitalization in the context of higher education in our country. So with these few words, let me take immense pride and pleasure in declaring this program inaugurated. Right. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us on digital age of education and enhancing our knowledge on digital age pedagogy and digital age teacher. Gratitude opens door to the power, the wisdom, and to the creativity of the universe. With that note, I invite Dr. S. Selvi Ma'am, Head, Department of Commerce, Shift 2, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Diana. Good evening to all. On behalf of Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Sashin Jain College for Women, Management, Principal and Vice Principal, I express my warm and sincere thanks to Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. S. Senthilnathan, Director, UGC, Human Resource Development Center, Professor, Department of Educational Technology, Bharathasan University, Tiruchirappalli, for inaugurating the 7-day international level online FTP on the topic Digitalization Trends and its Challenges in Higher Education. I am especially pleased to thank Sir for providing us insights on dimensions of digital learning and stimulating remarks on Digigogi. I am grateful to our respected Secretary, Associate Secretary, to our beloved Principal Madam, Vice Principal Madam for their guidance, support and encouragement. I also extend a heartfelt thanks to directors, program coordinators and other heads of the department for their contribution. I express my wholehearted thanks to the faculty members for the excellent coordination, to the Sashin technical team for conducting this event virtually, and to all the participants for this FTP. Once again, I thank everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The next session will commence shortly. I request the participants to hold on.
So with the permission of all of you, may I take leave, madam? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
The speaker has joined. Shall we start the event, ma'am? Shall I proceed with the welcome address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good day, everyone. We are honored to receive participants for FTP on the topic Digitalization Trend and its Challenges in Higher Education. Effectiveness is eminent for emerging trends in economy. This calls for transforming methods in education. Today with us, we have cybersecurity specialist Dr. Charumati Murali to add insight on the topic Minds Online Training Effectiveness. Dr. Charumati Murali, cybersecurity researcher, casual lecturer, tutor, School of Electrical and Information Engineering, the University of Sydney, NSW, Australia. Madam is an experienced researcher, worked for cybersecurity, data analytics, machine learning, and IoT. Madam has completed a PhD, School of Electrical and Information Engineering, Center for IoT and Telecommunication, the University of Sydney, Australia. Dr. Charumati Murali is a gold medalist and best outgoing student of 2012 from Anna University. To cast few specialization of Madam, I would like to coin network security, cyber security, 3G, 4G, 5G, big data, wireless communication, wireless networking, and the list goes on. For her extraordinary research contribution, Madam has been awarded by University of Sydney International Strategic Scholarship, and she has also received an award for Norman I Prize Scholarship for Best Reputed Research Publication. Madam has published a series of articles in cybersecurity and other related fields. Madam has published 24 research papers in highly indexed international journal, 11 papers in international conference, and 14 technical articles in the national conference. It's a great privilege for us to have you with us today, ma'am. I request you to address the gathering. A warm welcome to you.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Thank you, Professor Sukitana, for the warm welcome. Thank you very much. It's a great privilege for me to be part of the program here. And give me a second. Hope you can see my screen, right?
Yes, ma'am, it's shared.
Good. All right. So thank you very much for the warm welcome again. Right. So coming to this session, it's actually 8:50 p.m. for us. So I'll quickly complete the session maybe in 1 hour, 1.5 hours. But this discussion is going to be more about exploring about different online teaching tools and how do we make this online teaching effectively with the technology we are going to discuss on. Okay. So coming to this topic, Minds Online. Minds Online is actually, more related to how do we make the way of teaching more interesting, more engaged, and more interactive. Okay, so nowadays, actually, our students are more into online platform, and they are growing up with the online, and they know more about the online technologies rather than us. I would say that. Okay, so and we call ourselves as teachers, but in the future, I would say that we won't be a teacher, we would be a facilitators, I would say, because we are not going to teach more in the coming future. We are just going to facilitate them while teaching, and we are going to support them while they are learning. Okay, so that's what we would be expecting in the future. So it's not going to be like a 2 to 3 hours of chalk and talk method. Instead, it's going to be like we are going to share the different online teaching tools, and then after we are going to provide them with the materials and with the documents and a lot of links, a lot of activity, something like that, and we are going to support them. This is what we would be expecting in the future. Not going to be too long, maybe in another year or maybe in 2021, 22. After that also, this is going to be continued in the future. Okay, so when we take the agenda of this particular program, so this is going to be covered. So I'm going to talk about what is online learning versus the traditional learning. Then after, what are the best practices for teaching online, I'm going to discuss on. And there are different strategies to improve your online teaching. Then I'm going to give some brief overview about the best online teaching tools. Then after about the LMS, like the learning management systems, because that's actually the very important component here in most of the universities. With these systems only, they are actually, providing and integrating the teacher and the students and then the administrator, everybody together into one system. So we are going to, explore about the learning management systems, and I'm going to show you different learning management systems as well, like Canvas, and then I'm going to show you a sample Moodle system. Then I'm going to show you Collaborate. Okay, so this is what you would be expecting in the future. Your online teaching documents, your modules, that is your lessons, your presentation slides, the assignments, then the marks, and after that, how do you grading? Everything has been integrated into one single system that we call like this learning management system. So this is what actually we are having in most of the universities here in Australia, and we won't be having like this chalk and talk method anymore here. So we have to critically follow this learning management system. So initially, no one will be giving training for this. It's very simple, but actually we should know the place of each and every element that's there in the learning management system. Okay, and we are going to see about the critical features of this learning management system. So what ideally a learning management system should have, that we are going to see in this session. Then after a popular LMS tools, then after I'm going to show you like a kind of hands-on experience on how to explain various LMS tools and online teaching tools. Okay, so coming to this the topic, I'll quickly complete this theoretical kind of things, and then after I'll just show you a lot of tool related things related to this LMS and then this online teaching elements. Okay, so before going to this e-learning versus the classroom-based teaching, I want to tell you a very important thing is like this, the chalk and talk method. It's a really, really powerful method, I would say. Okay, because we have been taught from that one only. And even when I was working there back in India as a professor, I was actually, I love the way of teaching like the chalk and talk method. Okay, but nowadays the things are getting changed, and there has been education revolution, I would say that. So that is actually making the table upside down, and we're supposed to follow these kind of advanced level of technology, advanced learning things, everything. Okay, so but there are some kind of positive things are there in classroom-based teaching, and there are some drawbacks are there in this classroom-based teaching also. So when we are coming to this e-learning based thing, of course, here also there are a lot of pros and cons. So let's see this pros and cons of both like e-learning based system and the classroom based system. Of course, this is going to be vanished soon, I would say that, and this is what we are going to review. And when you say this e-learning based learning or teaching, anything, it can be completed anywhere with an internet connection. So they can be at any part of the world, and they can access this modules, lessons, your recordings, your presentation, anything, any part of it, and they can learn. And anytime the learner's free progress is being saved. So that's actually, one of advantage, I would say that. They can be at any place of the world, and at any pace, actually, they can learn. So that's actually one of the good advantage of it. But coming to this classroom-based one, so the learners have to be available at the same time and be the same place. So what's happening now, or what would be expecting in the future is, so maybe our students, higher education students, our bachelor students would be joining the part-time jobs or something. So if they cannot join the classes on time, so what they can do is they can attend the lectures online after some time at their own pace. And this would happen. And because, there are a lot of online opportunity, and then the jobs are available. So while they are learning and studying itself, they can actually earn too, of course. So at that meantime, actually, this e-learning based platforms would be really helpful. So complete at your own pace and don't rush to keep up with the people around you. And even if you are started working and comfortable between like 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. or 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., yes, you can sit and listen to the lecture. And if you have any questions on it, or if you want to repeat the same lecture multiple times, yes, you can do it. Nobody will stop it. But when you take this classroom-based training, so the trainer should focus on a particular topic, and whatever the topic he should teach, that is what you also will be concentrating, and you cannot deviate out of the topic. So that's actually, one of the, a small issue also, I can say that. And when you're coming to the third point, overhead costs are reduced, but here, we can actually must go to the venue, and we need to have an accommodation there to stay over there, and then after only we can get the training. So if we are actually studying far away, or if we are actually working far away, this needs to be definitely done. Then if you're unsure about something, you can go back over it again and again. So that's one of the advantage of e-learning, but you can ask the questions at the time of the training. Sometimes we teachers can explain it to them at any point of time. So if they're arising a question, and we can make that out clear at the moment itself. But in the other case, like e-learning, they need to note down the questions and they need to send the email to you, or when they are attending the other session virtually, then they need to arise those questions to the facilitator. So this is how it happens. But if he or she is a good student, then definitely he should note down that question and then she would arise the question to us. Okay, but if the person or student is not going to have a proper mind, and if he's not noting the questions or something like that, then it's going to be a problem and the learning progress will not be complete. So that's going to be a kind of a gap between the learning and the teaching. Okay, so it's actually a drawback in e-learning thing I'm saying. So content is engaging, and of course it's interactive, and it is actually ideal. We know that it's ideal, and we can see the confident students in front of us and who are answering, who are actually engaging, how the students are reacting, and how they are responding to your questions. Everything we can see physically in a physical classroom. But in virtual classroom, we can't see what they feel, how their faces are, how they are actually, feeling in their mind, whether they understand or does it make sense or not. That question would be there in a teacher's mind. Of course, it's there. No, I am also a teacher. I know that, because when you ask the questions, they would raise the hands and then they would say. But in what perspective they are actually saying the answer, or whether they are looking at a book and saying the answer, or maybe they are searching from the internet and telling the answer, I can't find. But when they are actually sitting in front of the classroom, I can say that, okay, this is correct or that's correct, something like that. So there are so many number of pros and cons are there between this e-learning and then the classroom-based learning. But of course, in the future, we are going to stick with this e-learning burst system only. So that's going to be the future. And maybe a small issue should be there that actually we can sort it out with the technology help. So there are a lot of things are coming up in the Zoom itself. So of course, if you have a full version of Zoom, you have actually the breakout room facilities, you have whiteboard facilities, and the breakout room facility is really helpful for the students. If you want to interact with a single student individually, then you can bring the student to the breakout room and you and that student can interact. And if there is any questions, or if there are any kind of doubts that the student is having, then he can actually discuss with you and you can make the questions all clear. Okay, so is there any issue with the screen sharing? Can anyone respond, please? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Because it shows some text message here. The participant cannot see your screen. That's the reason I have asked. All right, good. Okay. So going back to the strategies to improve your online teaching. So the first strategy here I would suggest to teacher is we have to create content creatively. So we have to add a little bit of videos and then some kind of animation, some storytelling kind of thing, so that the student should sit and listen to that lecture, and then he can understand at least a 40 to 50%. So previously, when we take our era, like 1990 to 2000s and all, when the teacher is teaching for continuously 2 to 3 hours, we are ready to take notes parallelly, and then we would be, enjoy learning things. But in this era, digital era, these students are really different. Okay, so they can concentrate on the teaching for 15 to 20 minutes, a maximum 15 minutes, when you are actually showing a presentation slide or when you're writing and explaining also. Even in the chalk and talk method also, I'm saying the same thing. Okay, so 15 minutes, they would be, concentrating on it, even if he's a good student. After 15 minutes, a kind of diversion would happen. So how do you get them back to the learning process? That's very important. That's actually the engaging thing. So the engaging would happen only through this creative content creation. So when they are actually going out of track, when we are teaching, so when you show some creative content, or when you are actually asking them to give some answers for the quizzes, something like that, then they would be coming to the form and they would say like, oh, okay, so this is what, all right, I'm trying to answer this question. Like these, they would come back to the seat and they would listen to you. And that would happen in this online learning and teaching method. Okay, so if we are actually writing on the board, or even if you're playing or something, although they never bother that. So that is actually one of the greatest advantage we have in this online learning, I would say that. So this animation tools and then the creative content like YouTube videos you can play, or some kind of music, or some questions, quizzes, anything you can create and you can ask the students to do. And the second, another important thing is voice lecture recording. So in the recording itself, like in the presentation slide itself, we can add the recording and we can add the audio recording. It means if a student cannot attend that lecture, if you're sharing the presentation slide, with the presentation slide, you have an option to add the audio recording. It's not going to be the video, it's going to be the presentation slide only, but we are going to add the audio recording at the bottom. So if he clicks that, he can listen to the audio and he can to understand about what is there in the presentation slide. Okay, so that's another interesting thing. And we can provide interactive activities to them. I'm going to give you an interactive activity today. Get ready for that. And then after, we are going to provide some visual collaboration, maybe kind of, beautiful images, or maybe a block diagram with explain with animation things and all. And then after, we have to socialize things. So we need to give opportunities to them to socialize. So how do we do that? Because, they are in online learning. How do you, because, if a new student is coming to a college and he want to make more friends, and during this online learning, how can he make good friends or new friends? So it's possible through this breakout room activities. So in the Zoom, we have an option like a breakout room activity. I'm not sure whether we have it here. It's not showing. Okay. So a breakout room activity. So in the breakout room activity, we can bring the students, like 3 to 4 students randomly. So every day what we would do is, so like randomly it will click 3 to 4 students in each and every group. So if there are totally 24 students and I want to make 8 groups, I'll just bring 3 students randomly from the class, and then I'm going to add it in the group. Okay, so there are 8 groups would come. So in these 3 members in the group, actually the discussion will go, and then after they would be discussing about what selection was, and if they have any questions about the assignment, questions about the exam, that all they would discuss. And then, each and every breakout room I will join and I will discuss with them, because in front of everyone, they would be hesitating to ask some questions. But when you are going in person to the breakout room, only their friends would be there, like 1 or 2 people would be there. They would come forward and then actually they would say their suggestion, or if they have any questions or feedback, they would definitely convey that. So that's one of the things actually we have in Zoom. I'm not sure everybody would be getting this breakout room activity. If the university is having your full access to Zoom with the recording provisions and everything, then definitely they have this breakout room activity and this whiteboard thing. So the whiteboard is like, if the lecturer wants to write something, they can actually write it on the whiteboard and they can explain it to the students. Okay. And coming to the next slide, it's about the best practices for teaching online. So as I said, it's going to be digital learning. So all the instructions and the presentation slides, their lessons, everything is going to be there in the LMS. Okay, so what needs to be there and how we are going to make the teaching effectively. For this, first thing is instructor presence. So here we need to establish teaching presence yearly and often. That's a very important thing. And we have to prove that we are always here to help you, and we are always here to support at any point of time during the learning process. And then after, we need to show them a clear expectation. What is the expectation of this unit? Detailedly explain about the syllabus, and then this is the due date for this assignment, and this is actually, you have to submit your assignment. Your expectation should be there in your mind, but you won't be explicitly telling to the students, means they cannot do it as what you are expecting. So the expectation we have to clear in the very first session or in another couple of sessions itself. So that's a very important thing. Okay, even if you are in online teaching, just let them know, like, this is the syllabus and this is the assignment. This is how we are expecting, like this. Then after, the learning objectives, alignment matters. So how our teaching progress is going on. So that one actually we need to let the students know at every day. Like we have completed this session in the last week, just give an overview about the last week's session. And then after we are going to start the next one, because it's all online learning, right? So they probably forgot. Okay, because there are a lot of opportunities are there. We are not physically seeing anything, and we are not allowing the students to physically see anything and to write some notes. So they probably forgot. So we need to give an overview and just a recap of what is actually happening in the last week. And then after, a prompt feedback. So when we are looking at the students' assignment and the students' exam papers or whatever, actually we have to provide feedback to the students at the right time. So you may ask a question, the online teaching, online learning, where do you see the papers? Where do you see the feedback? I'll show you in our LMS system how we are correcting the papers, how this Turnitin is actually checking the plagiarism, everything. Because in Australia, and even in any of the international universities, if you take it, we have a tool named Turnitin that would check each and every student's assignment. It needs to be unique. So it should not be copied from any of the students, or it should not be copied from any of the online portal. Otherwise, it will show the similarity index. So hopefully, many of the professors and lecturers are here. If you are submitting the online journals or anything, so they would be checking the plagiarism. Hope you know that. So the plagiarism would be checking with any of the articles all over the world that is available in the web. And then it will show like how many percentage of similarity it has. So similarly, for each and every student's assignment, we would be checking that similarity. Okay, so you would ask a question now, ma'am, for theory subject, of course, you can check the similarity. But for analytical subject, how do you check the similarity? Because every student would be getting the same answer only. If someone is from math background, definitely the answer is going to be the same. And the steps are, of course, it is going to be the same. For that case, we are going to ignore the similarity and we are going to just check the steps and we are going to provide the marks. So though this online tool is going to show you the similarity, we are going to dig in detail about each and every assignment. Okay, so it's actually, the facilitator's task to provide the marks based on their, actually, I would say that if the student is doing really well, we can give more marks. Even though actually it is matching with some similarity. We have put a lot of effort on that to making it really beautiful, then we can give more marks. Okay, so that is what that feedback is very important to improve the students' outcome. So even if it is online learning, they would be expecting the feedback from the lecturers and the professors. Then after they engage the students, quality interaction between the students is a sign of a successful class. So quality interaction, what you are talking with the students. Maybe you completed your lecture bit earlier, means just talk about how these lecture has been related to their future job and how this has been applied to the real world scenarios. Like these you have to explain. So in this way, we can actually interact with our students and make them understand each and everything, whatever they are learning needs to be very much helpful for their future. Like this we can make them understand. And coming to the next one, maybe I'm going to talk about the best tools for remote teaching and learning. So here you can see some of the icons here. Followed by that, I have listed out the different online teaching tools. So the very prominent and a significant best online teaching tool is a Google Classroom. Followed by this is actually a free one. That's the reason I have just posted it first. Then after, another important tool is GoodNotes. I'm going to show you today how we are going to work with the GoodNotes. Then after Padlet, Kahoot, then Peerdeck, Loom, Nearpod, Screencastify, ProPops, Socrative. So just note down all these. It would be definitely helpful for you in the future. So any one of them, actually, if you take it and if you are, engage your students every day, the students would definitely, enjoy learning and they would be keep in progress. The progress would be really good. I would say that definitely. Because, in every day when you are giving Kahoot quizzes, or maybe when you have given some questions to them to, answer the questions, or maybe some question related to your lecture, some questions related to a everyday current scenario, something if you ask, they would definitely, help to do that. And thereafter, coming to the Zoom, we have actually a poll option. So in the poll option, we can post the questions and we can ask them to answer the questions. Maybe like true or false questions, it may be, or it can be like some problem, and we can ask them to solve the problem and give the answer for that. So that is also one way of engaging. So I'll just share you a Kahoot link now. So please start do that quiz. And let's say how it is interactive. I'm going to share a link, and then after, I think 10 participants can participate in that. Give me a second. Okay. So this is the link, and you can see the game pin here. Can you hear me? Have you started doing that? Can you able to access that Kahoot question?
Yes, ma'am. The link is working.
Okay, just start with the question. I think 12 questions should be there. So, you can answer one by one. I can see the answers here, even you have completed it. So this is how we can interact with the students. So you can create your own questions as well. This is basically free. So every day you can actually post some questions to the students and they might answer it, and everything would come back to you, and you can see the summary of all the answers and who actually answered all the questions correct. Based on that, some statistics you can see in the Kahoot. It's a really interesting tool. Done? You can see the
Yes.
progress here.
Yes.
So like that, you can see the students' progress also, how many questions they have completed, how many are correct, how many are unanswered, like these you can easily find out here. And I'll just show you how to create the questions. It's too simple. Okay, so here there is an option. Just go to Kahoot. Okay, when you click Kahoot, it will show you, there is an option to create questions. Just click create and new Kahoot, create. And what type of questions you want to have, like a quiz, or if you want to have a true or false type, or maybe, you are asking the students to type the answer, something like that, then you can type this. Okay, type your questions here and maybe just give you a sample answer here and go to the next question, add question like these. Then after posting all these, you have an option to share. So like what I have shared it here. So if when you share it, you can actually find out those questions. So any students from any part of the world, actually, they can do this Kahoot when you share the link and then the code. Because I have shared both of the things, right? I have shared the link and the link code. So with these, actually, that Kahoot would be connected and your students can answer these questions. Very simple. It won't be taking like a more time. So I have created another question set for you. So go to the library. All the questions should be available in the library. So go to the draft here. So teaching effectively with the technology, FTP questions. So advantages of online teaching and learning. That's my first question. Then your argument against the online teaching. So that's the second question I have put it. And how do you improve teaching and learning process via online? So 3 questions I have put. So if I have forwarded this question to you, you would be typing some answers and that will come back to me. And based on that, the grades would be awarded. Okay, I'm not awarding for this quiz, what you have completed, because it's auto set. So if it is correct, then automatically the marks would be awarded. But if this is a kind of, type the answer question, then you need to go through that. We need to have some time to go through it. And we can provide the, feedback also here. So all these are possible in the Kahoot platform. Similarly, there are a lot of, kind of interactive teaching tools are there. I'll just show you something else also. First, I will complete this presentation in between. Is it hiding? Can you see the complete presentation slide?
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, and another popular tool is the Nearpod. The Nearpod one is like, if when you have a presentation and you want the students to interact and write the answer for the presentation, then you can go for the Nearpod. And the Padlet also a similar kind of thing. Peer Deck is similar like a presentation slide, but your students can answer those, each and every questions, whatever you are putting over there, they can answer the questions, then you can teach. You can teach and the students can answer. So both actually is like more interactive platform. That's a Padlet thing. And coming to LMS, Learning Management System. So nowadays, we are going for this online based teaching, but for that we need a complete system to integrate everything together in one single point. So that is actually this learning management system. It's a set of software tools designed to manage user learning interventions, including online virtual classroom and instructor-led courses. It's like your presentation slides and your assignments, then the marks, students' names, student email IDs, student IDs, everything has been connected in this LMS. Okay, so when they have submitted the assignment, it would be dropped over there in a separate folder, and there only we would be checking their assignment. Then we would be giving the marks over there. Similarly, for the exams also, we can conduct online. So I will show you how we are conducting the online exams too. So it's basically very easy thing. So the students have to submit it, and then actually it needs to be checked by us after some time. Even after 1 week or 2 weeks also, we can check those, and then we can provide marks to them. So the students can't see the marks until the marks would be released from the center of examination. So like these, actually everything we have a control for this learning management system. And what is the critical features of this learning management system? The first thing is integrations. Integration is like a seamless integration we are looking for. So the teacher, and then after the student, the administrator, and the technical support people, everybody would be connected to this learning management system. And it should allow the learning and development team to effortlessly incorporate other forms of information into the system also. So that's a way of integration we are looking into. Then after the technical support at any point of time, that kind of failures would happen. So we have to find out the flaw over there, and then after we need to be responsive as quickly as possible to sort out the issue. So for example, a scenario I would say, I have created a deadline for one of the assignment, which is going to be 10 p.m. today. And around 9 p.m., this LMS is not available to the students. So at the time, how the students can submit their assignment? So what would happen? The students would keep sending you email. Even sometimes they would call you. They would say like, sorry, lecturer, I couldn't submit the assignment on time. And what I have to do, because the problem is the LMS is not working and there is a failure in the LMS and I couldn't submit it on time. So when I go and check it, the same thing happened to me also. So what I have to do? So this is what the problem now. So we need to have some support people along with that, and then they need to sort it out as quickly as possible so that their students can submit it on time. So that's actually, a tricky thing. So when you take some of the LMS system like Moodle, Canvas, or you can take Collaborate. So these LMS and all, they have their own team, like support team, technical support team. They would always help you 24/7. So any failure or any kind of flaws would happen, they would immediately support you to sort this problem. But another important feature we want to look into is the data tracking. So the administrator should easily track the learner data in the LMS storage. So when I put a student name, it will show what is the student ID, what is the email ID, and what is actually the, sorry, it's okay. So what is the email ID, what are all the courses actually he's doing, and which semester he is in, and what courses he has already completed. All these information will be reflected in this LMS. So that I can say that, okay, this student, okay, semester 2 students. So these units he is doing, and who is taking these units, like these we can easily map it. So I know it's like a more integrated, and it is easy for us to track the data. And that's a third important thing. Then the fourth one is the personalization. So based on your wish and customization, we can make it. So if you want to have like more presentation slide, and even if it is like more aligned, we can do a lot of customization into it. I'm going to show you like 3 different LMS systems today from 3 different universities. Since I'm working at 3 different universities, I'm just showing you 3 different universities LMS. So, based on their wish and based on their customization, they have made it in a different way. Okay. So, and then communication management tools. So it's like if you want to send an SMS, or if you want to send an email, or if you want to give an alert to them to submit the assignment, that's also possible. So as a lecturer, I should give them alert. Tomorrow would be the deadline for submitting your assignment. Tomorrow would be the deadline for submitting your assessment. Like these, I would be giving an alert, and that would reach each and every student's inbox. It may be a message, or it may be an app function, or it can be an email, anything. But they would be getting an alert. The auto alert would be sent to them, and they would be quickly, realize that, oh my God, tomorrow would be the due date. Okay, I have to start work from today onwards. Like this, they might think, and they probably start working towards it. So that's actually the other thing. Then centralized data storage. So, no problem would happen, even if you are in India, or if you are in, Europe, or if you are in Australia, anywhere, the complete system looks the same. And from anywhere, actually, you can communicate with the lecturer, and you can download the documents, and everything remains the same only. And this organization would be giving like 24/7 access. At any point of time, you can listen to the lectures, and if you want, you can interact with the teacher if they are available. And also, at any point of time, you can submit your assessment also. It's not necessary that you need to be available in the campus or in the country. So at any part of the world, you can stay and you can do all these things done. And coming to the 7th one, analytics and reporting features. So this is actually another intelligent thing. So it's like, if some student is not at all attending the lecture and he's not submitting the assignment, something like that, then we can easily find out the analytics. How long actually, he was into this LMS, how often he is getting into this learning management system, when he is actually learning this lecture, what he has done. So whether he is listening or not, whether he is submitting on time or not, everything actually, all the information has been available in LMS. And that analytics would be helpful to identify whether the student is on right path or not. And coming to the 8th point, that's a mobile and remote work friendly. So like they can have it in the mobile, and they can actually work from any remote places. That's actually, that's a possible thing in any online teaching thing. So it's all critical features, ideal features we are looking from a learning management system. Okay, so going to this, the different kind of characteristics of this LMS tools. So customization can be possible, authoring the tools, authorizing. So the students who actually paid the fees for this particular university only can get the authorization to get into this particular functions that we can actually administer. So like identity and access management thing. Then after integration, integrating a different type of units together in one single course, and after learning analytics, then administration. It's all we can integrate together in this learning management system. And the popular LMS tools are Canvas. Canvas is a very popular tool, then the Blackboard, then Moodle, Talent LMS, Collaborate, Infinite, then after the Google Classroom. Okay, so this is all the different and very popular and significant LMS tools most of the universities are following. So now here in Australia, in University of Sydney, they are having the Canvas, and in another university where I'm working, they are using Moodle, and in the Victoria University, they are using the Collaborate. So they depend upon their customization, their wish, and their way of priority, they would be changing the different LMS tools. Okay, so let's explore the various LMS now. And this is actually going to be your hands-on experience. So I'm going to show you and explore about different learning management systems now. Okay, so let me go to the first one. So here, when we look, so when I click this, so imagine I'm a teacher, I'm a lecturer here. So when I go to the dashboard, it shows like these. And these are all the units I taught. So let me click this all courses. And then after I go here. So these are all the units I taught in the last 6 years. Everything would be available here. And I'm going to choose this 2021 semester. And here you can see the different sections here. So this is an LMS. And the name of this LMS is Canvas. Okay. And the announcement section is here. So whatever the professor is announcing, everything would be available here. And after that, we have the module section. In the module section, we are going to put all the presentation slides, like lecture notes. So lecture notes 0, 1, 2, 3. And if you want to add some numerical examples, some problems or something like that, that also you can add it. It's like you have an option to attach all the documents, presentation slides here. It would be available for the students. And how do we release these presentation sliders? So once we have completed that presentation today, I would be submitting into this portal and that day night. So it is not like everything would be available to the students on the very first day of the college. So it's going to be like chapter 0, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, like these. Every week we would be releasing the chapters. And there are totally like, 10 or 6, 7 chapters are here. So that is going to run for 1 semester. Okay, so this lecture would be going for at least minimum 2 to 3 hours and continuously. And the numerical problems will also be discussed during this lecture. And after this, the recorded lecture will also be available at the bottom. So first, mainly the presentation slides and then the recorded lectures. This is all the videos that would be available. And after this, we have this tutorial questions. So here we have every week we need to submit tutorials. So the questions would be posted to the students every week. So we would be setting a timeline, and on that day, this question would be released to the students. The students should open this tutorial 1 questions and they have to complete that before they are coming to the next tutorial. And I will show you how the students would be dropping their assignments also. And then after the recorded tutorials here, then recorded tutorial solutions. Then after they have lab experiments. So all the lab experiments, manuals, everything would be available here. Then they have actually some solution for the lab experiments. So everything we have put it together here. So, it's like very easy for us. The lecture notes, everything is available. And if you want to know more about this continuous wave modulation, I can click this and I can look at the presentation slide. And if I want to know more, then I can easily learn about it. But when we are taking the mark section, how do we handle the marks? So this is what the assignment section. So assignments would be pasted over here. So the students can see the assignments, tutorial 1, tutorial 2, lab 0, lab 1, lab 2, lab 3. So when they click at this, they have an option to submit their assignment. And then after it would be coming back to me, because if I am a tutor, I have to correct it. So it would come back to me. And if I'm a lecturer, it would come back to me. So it would be giving me an alert that this student submitted this. Like these actually, it can show you a statistics here, how many students have submitted and how many haven't submitted, everything. So that also we can find out from the marks. So from the mark section here, you can see the student name, then the tutorial 1 report, tutorial 1 report A2, there are group names are there. So when they have submitted it, the marks would be allocated here. And everything would be automized here, and finally it will tell the total. I don't want to do anything. Once I have done with the calculation, all the marks would be updated here, and then it will show me the total mark, like how many marks actually he got from the tutorials and how many marks he got from the labs. Everything would be updated here, and out of 100, how much mark actually he has scored also it will show. So it's simple. So Canvas is actually a open-based tool only. So if we want to adapt to our university environment, we can have it. So this is one of the tool I have shown. The other tool I want to show you is Collaborate. So this is from another university. So it's like this, you can see that different semesters here, semester 1, then different units and blocks would be coming. So this unit name is ICT Business Analytics and Data Visualization. So when I'm saying unit, it is a subject. So this subject is NIT 3171 ICT Business Analytics and Data Visualization. This is another subject. So during this semester, there are 2 subjects actually he's going to learn. And when I click this one, so it will take me to another page. And there are many number of options here, like learning space, communication, assessments, toolbox, video, help, space. I mean, there are a lot of things would be there. But for the students, it would be looking different. As I'm a lecturer, it looks a little bit different. And learning space, when you click it, so here you can see this, all these information. See, assessment information. So it's like all the assessments we would be put it over here. And we would say like, we would be saying clearly how their marks would be, segregated. And, this has been categorized like test, group project, assignment. How much mark has been allocated for the test? How much mark has been allocated for the group project? How much mark has been allocated for the assignment? Like these, we have separated it and we have mentioned it to the students. And after this, we have like week 1, week 2, different kind of sessions. So week 1, when you take it, it will show you session 1, session 2, session 3. So when we click on the session 1, we have 3 different links like pre-class, in-class, and post-class activity. So pre-classes, before that student coming to that lecture, he should, go through this pre-class activities, and then he has to come. You might ask a question, Madam, when you are actually creating this presentation slide, how, it is eating up a lot of time. And, this online teaching is not a piece of cake for me. And I like only the chalk and talk method like this. Of course, even I love the same thing because it's very easy for me. I can go with the, a piece of paper or a couple of pages and the chalk piece, and I'll go and take the class. Of course, it's correct. But every time we are writing something and we are investing our time, and, it's a kind of lot of physical activity, right? But when you go with this online teaching, you definitely love it. Initially, the kind of investment of time would be needed. Very first time when you have created this presentation slide, at the same thing, you can use it for at least 2 to 3 years until the syllabus has been updated. So first time, it will take like 3 to 4 hours for each and every lecture. I would definitely agree with that. And if it is a mathematical unit, like, physics unit or maths unit, something like that, if it is even more challenging. And for that also, I have an idea. I will show you from my iPad. I will be joining from my iPad and then I will show you. So what we have to supposed to do is, we need to get ready for this online learning. We have to invest time, first time, but after that, it could be very easy for us. We just want to present the presentation slide and we need to add some additional information to them, like YouTube videos, or you can actually provide them with some document link. The students can learn by their own. So now the students are not expecting everything from a teacher. Previously, when we take our area, so it's different. We are expecting everything from the teacher and we would be asking for a spoon feeding kind of thing. But now these students are a bit different. When we have given some information to them, they are trying to understand. I won't be saying all the students, at least of 70% of the students, they would be looking into what you have provided and they try to explore things out of the box because they have internet and they have the laptop and everything, internet connection. So they try to explore it and they try to understand more than what you teach. And that they are expecting. So we can actually just facilitate them what is there in that particular chapter. That is what we have to do. We cannot explain like 1 to 100 everything or something like that. So basically, it's the students' responsibility to understand everything in detail, but we have to facilitate them how to study and what suppose they have to know in order to learn this unit clearly. And after that, after this one, session 2 things, I want to show you this assessment. So the students, where they're supposed to submit their assignment in the Dropbox. So test 1, they have to submit it here. So test 2, they have to submit it here. And this is a group project. I'll just show you how it looks like. So there are many students have submitted here. You can see the different student's name. So when I go here, the students' information will be coming. And, I can evaluate it, and you can give your feedback also here. That is a constructive feedback. What is missing, what is not missing, like these we can give. And you have an option to give marks in terms of grades also. So it's like a rubric. A rubric, when you click it, you can actually provide the marks. So just it is like clicking only. So it's very easy for us to give marks, and we can give the feedback also. So I'm going to go through it. Just I'll make it full screen, and then I'll go through all the assignment answers. See, the students have to type it. So, it's going to be challenging for the students. Of course, they should learn, because we should not spoon feed our students to write everything and submit it. But at some point of time, because they are expecting digital learning, so they have to follow this digital document submission also. And that we have to cultivate among our students. And when they have done it, we can check it and we can give the marks. And followed by that, I want to show you. Okay, here we have the attendance. So for this unit, when the student come, I can take the attendance here, and followed by that, here, if I want to send an email to the students, we can send an email. And we have some set of groups here. So for the particular group, if I want to send an email, I can send here. And when the student want to join the Zoom classroom, he log into this LMS, and he just click the Zoom classroom. It will automatically take him to the Zoom classroom. He would attend the lecture. It's very simple actually. So even for the teacher, it's very easy, and for the students also it's easy. And it will automatically give a notification to the students when they're supposed to submit their assignment, and when is the due date, and how many marks actually has been awarded for this assignment. Everything they would be getting an alert. So it's all been available in this one single system. So when you take one unit, then they would be getting all this information available in one single portal. So just actually, they need to be knowing all these, how it is working, and where they have to submit their assignment, where they need to find out the Zoom link, everything they should know. And I want to show you that Google slide thing with the audio, right? So here you can see. So from the Google slide, you can actually add the audio also. So see, look at this. So, this is my my kids one. So you can see some information related to a zoo is there. Along with that, audio is there. So, what they would be doing here in the school is they are not teaching through Zoom classes. So they're just providing this presentation slide to the year one kid. It's happening for the year one kid. Why it cannot happen for a bachelor student and master student? It's happening. So, they're just providing this presentation slide with this audio link. The teacher is talking here, and he's explaining about the zoo, and he's explaining about what different type of creatures here, like birds, mammals, insects, something like that. And how a mammal has been categorized, and how they are saying it's an amphibian, like all these information they are providing here. And it's possible. So in the Google slide, we can add the audio. So just next to that right side or left side, anywhere you can add it. And that when you want to add even more good information about this, you can actually record your audio and you can post it here. And that one we can use it using Loom, L-O-M-M. That is actually another tool. So in the Google Chrome itself, you can embed the tool, and you can record your complete screen as well as your face both together, and you can teach. So it's not going to be a Zoom or something like that. Loom is very easy. So it's like simple sign in with your Gmail account, and then you can have that Loom in your Google Chrome account. Then you can use that. So share the screen, talk, your face will be recorded, and the screen will also be recorded. Then you can post it to your students. So sometime if you're not available for a particular session, then you can take that session via Loom, record it, and you can share it to your students. So that's easy. So this is how we can engage the students. I would say that. And we would be probably expecting a similar kind of learning management system very soon in most of the universities in India. I would say that already it's happening in IITs and NITs and all. But soon, even Anna University also, they would be going to have a proper LMS system for all the universities and for all the colleges that is connected with it. So similar kind of learning management system you would be expecting soon, that I want to convey here. I hope that's the end of the session for me. If you have any questions, yeah, you can ask me now. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Before that,
Thank you, ma'am. Now the forum is open. Anybody can ask questions.
yeah, you
Either
can ask questions.
Yeah, you can unmute and ask, or you can drop it in the chat box.
You have any questions? Hello, everyone. Don't you have any questions?
Your participants, you are very much welcome to ask questions. Please, you can ask a question.
If you have any questions related to learning management system or any online based tools, you please ask me so that I can help.
You can even drop the question in the chat box.
Oh, okay. I'll just check the chats too.
No, nobody has dropped a message.
Thank you. Loom one, okay. You're asking about the Loom, right? LOMM is the tool. Okay, I'll just show you. I have stopped sharing the screen, right? One second. Again, I'm sharing the screen. LOM. Okay, so here you can find this tool. It's a video messaging for work. So what you can do is you can record your screen and you can record your face both together. So when you download this application, so it will automatically integrate it to your Google Chrome. And even you can actually integrate with any of the systems also, any of the browser. But the Loom would be integrated with Google Chrome. And then when you present your presentation slide, you can open it and you can present it. And parallelly, a circle kind of thing would open, and in that circle, your face would come, and whatever you're talking, that would also appear. So it will record the screen, it will record your face, everything, and it will be saved there, and it will send back to your Gmail. And if you have a kind of a cloud account with the Google, then automatically that recording would get back to you on the cloud. So you can download that video and you can share it to your students, or you can share the link also, because downloading will take a lot of time. You can just share the link, the students can listen to it. Even Zoom is also having recording. So you are recording, right? After some time, it would be coming to the cloud. So but the Loom one is like any person can do it. It's just free of cost. You don't want to pay anything for the Loom. It's very simple. And any if you are using your education platform email ID, then it is going to work out really well. I would say that. Any other questions you have? Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi. I'm expecting more questions from you. Come on. Is it understandable? Does it make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Audience can ask your doubts in the chat box. Ma'am would be enlightened to explain.
And I want to show you the Google Classroom also in the meantime. So anybody have used the Google Classroom?
Yes, ma'am. We have been using it for some time.
Okay. So when you say this Google Classroom, so this is a way you can stream your information to your set of students. And here there is an option called classwork, and you can actually post a lot of assignments to the students, like learning activity. This is my son's one. So I'm just showing that one. So the presentation slide and the activities, everything would be posted here. So once he is completing that activity, the teacher would return back that work with the comments. So here, when the tick comes, means he has completed it, and then actually it is returning back to us with the comments. So that like these actually it will come. It's very simple. We can easily create it. Our teachers, basically a lot of manuals would be available for this Google Classroom. So when you take the other platforms and all, of course, you need to put a lot of time for it to understand about using the tools. But the Google Classroom would be very simple, and it is very elegant to learn. So I would just advise you can go with the Google Classroom. You can go with the Loom, and you can ask your students to create some activity by their own. use the Kahoot platform. Kahoot is really helpful. So, you have done the quizzes, right? Similarly, you can create any type of quizzes, like a simple question or a mathematics things. Oh, before that, I just want to show you a good notes. Okay. Just give me a second. It's a very important thing I forgot. That would be helpful for the mathematicians and analytical paper handling professors. Just give me a moment. I will be joining from other device.
Recording in progress. One more question, ma'am. How to use rubric for assignment? How can that be applied?
Can you give me?
Yeah, there is one more question. How to use rubric for assignment?
What's the question?
How to use
How to create rubrics, right?
Yeah, for assignments, yes.
Is there any question here? Okay, rubrics for assignments, how we can apply. We are using Kahoot for our students, ma'am. Okay, that's good. Right. Okay, so how to use rubrics? That's good. Good question. So when we go to the Dropbox here, rubrics would be really helpful. So what we can do is, this is actually a collaborative tool. So here we can create our own rubrics. So when we click into this, I cannot change it. So when we click into it, we can actually give a different type of marks, like what is high distinction, credit, pass, something like that. We can provide it. And for each and every question, we can split different criteria also. So based on this criteria, it would just appear here, like what about the content, how he has written the content. And for that, there are a lot of information would be there that you can provide it. And then organization of this assignment, supporting materials, then overall score, how much actually he's going to get. Everything we are going to put it together, and that marks would be appeared automatically. You don't want to total it. And you don't want to feed the mark back to the mark sheet also. Okay, I'll just show you the mark sheets too. Then it would be helpful for you. So once you have given the marks here, automatically the marks would be updated in the grades. So here you can see the grades. So I have just given the marks out of 100, right? So this marks has been automatically weighted into the grade in terms of 20. So 17.5 out of 20 is actually secured. And that's actually a high distinction for this assessment alone. So similarly, all the assessment would appear. Here you can see test 1, test 2, test 3. All the marks would be appeared over here. So everything would be automatically updated. They can easily release the result. So it's very simple for them. They can just download this as an Excel sheet and then they can release the result. So it's not manually going to give much effort for me. So my effort would be like, just I want to correct that assessment. So, otherwise, for me, when I was in India, I have to carry like 200 papers. So it was like, I was working with RMK Engineering College in Gumiripundi. So, all the way, like almost 100 kilometers, I have to travel from Gumiripundi to Velacheri. Then I need to carry all the 200 papers back to home. And on that day itself, I have to correct all the papers. I won't be sleeping the whole night. I have to complete correcting it. And tomorrow, next day, I have to carry all the papers back to college. So this is such a hectic work for us. So instead of this is very easy. I would be sitting and even I would be sleeping and correcting this assessment. I would complete it and I'll just make it done. That's it. And all the corrections, totaling, everything would be done by the system itself. So, some of the things actually, in online teaching would be a bit difficult for us to accustom it. But after some time, you feel like this is much relaxing, and it is actually, giving you a lot of pleasure to you. And instead of, doing a lot of manual activity. So that would be get completely wiped out when you get into this online mode of teaching. Yeah. Any other questions, ma'am? Actually, I want to show you this Google Notes. Can anyone give me the host permission to me when I'm joining from the other device?
Okay.
I would be joining from the other device. Can you please give me that host permission so that I can quickly show you the good notes? Then I would, close the session.
Okay, ma'am, we can do that. So what is your other device name?
Can you give me co-host permission, please?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the name, ma'am? Host for which account, ma'am?
Yeah, the same one.
Same one. Okay. One minute, ma'am. We'll give you first.
So now can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so all good. So now another tool I'm going to show you is the good notes. So, many people are handling mathematical subjects. So for those people, of course, we should write and explain it to the students. Otherwise, they won't be understanding what is happening around. So for that, actually, there is a tool named Good Notes. Just writing the tool name. So this is like if you are having a tablet or if you are using an iPad, then this tool actually would be helpful for you. So you can take this tool and any presentation slide, you can move to this Google Notes. So what you have to do is, okay, I'll just open a presentation slide. Session 3, Agile. Okay. Okay, so this is that. So this presentation is open, right? So at the top, you can see a option and open in Good Notes. Okay, import as a new document, import documents. So this document would appear here. And you have an option, like a lot of options here in this Google Notes. So you can actually complete writing every notes here and you can send it to your students. So for example, like I want to add more information, means I can add a blank page here and whatever you want to write, number 1, number 2. So x plus y the whole square, whatever it is, just write it or do the integration, differentiation. So anything, whatever you want to do, even if you want to draw a figure, okay, so all are possible. If you want to attach a figure also, it's possible. So what you can do is, I'm erasing it. So if you want, you can erase it, you can write, you can erase, and maybe if you want to attach an image, you can actually click this option here. Okay, and from this option you can click that and you can take the image and you can put it over here. It's too easy. And other important thing actually you can have it in this one is, so if you want to have a ruler sheet or something, you can add the ruler sheet here and you can write a point by point information 1, 2, 3. I would be using this tool most of the time. So when I'm teaching these lectures and all, see, I would be writing this mathematical formulas, calculations, everything like this. The students would be just looking into it and they would come to understand it. And when we are solving this mathematical units, this is really a good tool. And any point of time, even after 10-15 years also, this would actually stay with you. So you don't want to find out a paper or notes where I have kept it. Oh my god, I kept it in this place and I don't know where I kept it. So that kind of confusion never arises. You just you can go for export and export all as a PDF, and you can send it to your Gmail, or you can send it to your Google Drive. So after completing your lecture also, this notes will exist and you can share it to your students. So what I'll do is I'll complete my lecture, and this lecture notes I will share it to my students. So whatever I have written, every formulas, everything will go to the student. The students can see this. So it's like they don't want to write notes. It's a kind of spoon feeding only. So they never take any pen or pencil. They just listen to the lecture, and all the notes would be appeared in the slides, and I'm going to export it and send it to them. And if you want to add some additional points or like kind of a YouTube link or some other information, just you can add it. Any number of pages you can add it. Or if in between, if you need to add a document also, you can do it. It's actually, if you want, you can type it. It's possible. It's all easy. Like it's a very free tool. Google Notes is a free tool. Please start using this Google Notes. So definitely you will love it. It's one of the tool I would be always using for all of my lectures, for most of the teaching things. Okay, so that is what I want to show you. And is there anything else I missed out here? And highlighter is here. And if you want to highlight few things, you can highlight it to your students and explain. And if you want to delete everything, yes, it's a simple wipe off. You can clear everything and you can actually tell it to your students, okay, this is that something. And if you want to give any questions to your students when you are teaching, so just post a question here. Okay, so just solve this problem. Okay, write on the list of machine learning techniques. So when you write the question here, the students can post their answers. So like these we can actually play. And I would be drawing some figures and I ask them to solve the problems. It's a kind of interactive learning. So when you write something, they would listen and they might look at it, what kind of changes is happening in the screen at least. Okay, so that's all about from my end. So if you have anything, yeah, please let me know. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Any other question? If there is any other question from the audience, then we can go forward with that, or should we wind the session?
Thank you.
1 minute. Good evening, everyone. I feel honored and I would like to propose the vote of thanks for this international FTP on the topic digitalization trends and its challenges in higher education. First, I would like to thank the Almighty for the successful conduct of the event. Gratitude to our college management, Madam Principal, Madam Vice Principal, and Department of Commerce and IQAC for organizing this insightful event. And I would like to thank you to a greater extent, ma'am. It is irrespective of the time gap, you have spared a lot of time for us to share a valuable insight. Thank you so much for this valuable. Thank you. I request the audience to please wait. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The feedback link is posted in the chat box, requesting all the participants to kindly fill the feedback form. After filling the feedback form, you can leave the call.
So with your permission, can I?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye. Requesting the participants to kindly fill the feedback. The feedback